It's not going to cause a collapse in the housing market, because if the bank lent you money at 2.19%, then they would have worked out your ability to service an interest rate at maybe 6.5%, even 7%. Well, hello again, everybody. Today, I just wanted to make some general comments about the rising interest rate environment everybody's going to be talking about fairly soon. We've got the Reserve Bank doing one of its 6 to 8 weekly reviews of monetary policy, and possibly by the time you receive this, they'll have made their announcement, not of a change in interest rates at the moment, but basically all of us economists, us analysts, we expect that they are going to signal our economy no longer needs these record low levels of interest rates, that they can see a lot of growth happening in a great range of sectors out there: residential construction, consumer spending, export prices, government spending, etc., and that they need to start taking away the sugar which was thrown on the economy's fire, I guess, about March or April of last year. And of course, this is where it gets interesting, because the prime motivation for our central bank raising interest rates isn't just to slow the economy down, just for the heck of it. It's to make sure that inflation stays as close as possible to 2%. It's been about 1.5% for 6 months now. We're going to get an inflation number any day. You might already have it in hand, showing inflation getting somewhere maybe between 2.5% to 3%. And of course, people are then going to say, well, hang on, that's before we've seen all these extra construction costs feed through, local authority rates are going up, etc. And so people are going to be looking towards a future of a higher inflation for maybe the next 2 to 3 years or so. And some people out there are probably going to say, oh, you young people, you don't know what it was like in the old days. Inflation sort of 16, 17%, and the mortgage rates up there at 18% in 1987 and higher for some people. We are not going back to that environment. The high inflation in the old days, the 70s, the 1980s, that was because our central bank wasn't independent. It did what the politicians told them, essentially, and the politicians didn't like interest rates rising, especially going into an election year. And now they're independent, and they won't want inflation to be rising strongly, so they're going to raise interest rates just to tapen down the growth in the economy a little bit and get things under control. Now, of course, here's the significant thing. In the past, when they would raise interest rates, it wasn't until mortgage rates got to about 11%, I know that's pretty frightening, that people like myself would start cutting back on our spending. We're not getting anywhere near that this time around. Most people with a mortgage at the moment know nothing other than low interest rates falling. Once they start increasing, some people are going to be quite surprised. They didn't know a floating rate could go up as well as go down. And as people roll off their 1-year fixed interest rates in particular into something which will be 1.5% to 2% higher in 18 to 24 months' time, the Reserve Bank will get the spending pullback that they want. It's not going to cause a collapse in the housing market, because if the bank lent you money at 2.19%, then they would have worked out your ability to service an interest rate at maybe 6.5%, even 7%. But there is going to be a cutback on spending in discretionary areas, the frequency with which one maybe hops across to the Gold Coast, Cook Islands, or how often one goes out and buying clothes, that sort of thing. So just be ready. Interest rates are going to go up, but we are not returning to the 1980s and 1998 11% mortgage rates, or 2008. Maybe 2%, I think, at worst, as far as the interest rates go up. So let's hope I'm right on that one. All the best.